Okay, Libra. So I want to start here with the Chariot card. Because the Chariot card is the vehicle through which you get to where you are, or by which you get from where you are to where you're ultimately trying to go, which is the Ten of Coins, which clearly is this amazing king person that you have around you. And yet the Chariot is what's stressing you out the most. The Chariot is you, by the way, right? The Chariot is you. And what you want, can we just say love? I'll just say love. But ultimately, whatever it is you're wanting, the fulfillment, the peace, the joy, and however that's coming into your life, okay, that's for you individually. But the love, to get from there, there are so many boundaries, or barriers rather. There are so many barriers. It's all inside. I don't know that any conflict between you and another person, I don't know how real that is. And what I mean is, I have this weird feeling that you're kind of on the same page. Just be careful that you're not defending something that you really don't believe in anymore, or that you're not sure that you believe in anymore. I have this feeling, Libra, that this Chiron in Aries is making you look at your past relationships of all kinds, friendships, siblings, everything, all your relationships. It's making you look at the good ones, it's making you look at the bad ones. And there's like this whole vibe of like, I don't know anymore. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what, and like ultimately you're an optimist. I see Libra as being very optimistic in general. So for an optimist, someone who tends to see the best in pretty much everyone and everything, to be afraid, that means that there was a lot of pain in the past. And that the things that are on the table for you now are associated with pain. They're associated with grief and I'm not going to say hard work like in a bad way, but like the bad kind of hard work. Like the codependent narcissist kind of hard work. But I'm telling you now, that is not what this person is offering. That's not what this situation is. I'm telling you that because I think maybe you need to hear it from someone because you're getting lost in a lot of like counter arguments in your own mind. Right? There is no conflict here. There's no conflict. And while maybe this won't be, although I don't know, you guys, I'm seeing like the 10 of Coins and the 6 of Cups coming up. There's a lot of quality of togetherness and belonging and love and building something. Clearly someone who likes to build stuff with people, so if this does speak to you in terms of marriage or a business, or a strong friendship or something, like I think this person is really on board and they're really on board with you. They are not the people of your past, right? This is like daddy issues, be damned. Mommy issues, be damned. Like for childhood issues, be damned. Like none of that is relevant in this scenario. That's what I'm feeling. And I almost feel like this is an opportunity for you to create the kind of circumstances that you didn't have or that you didn't get. You see what I mean? Or that you did have that were good, like to pass it on and to spread joy and to spread happiness. But this is problematic because I think you're kind of running away from your own power. And that's a harsh reality that maybe some Libras really don't like hearing. And that's going to be harsh and they're really not going to like it. And, that just kind of is what it is. But maybe too, it'll help some Libras be like, oh, wow, okay. Okay, I can change my mind. And I'm okay with that. Right? Change your mind. And as we look at this 10 of coins here, the resistance, I had kind of giggled when I pulled that out the first time. I was like, oh my God. Of course, just here's the 10 of coins. Here's everything you want. And you're like, well, I don't know if I want that anymore. I don't know. I'll think about it. It's kind of comical almost. It's all good though. I see the 10 of coins. Why am I feeling this quality of wealth, or being in kind of a wealthy environment, or something with, again, community, a lot of people, maybe something with a city or an industry. I'm seeing this whole social gathering, and it's so healthy for you. And I think maybe on some level, you might be someone that doesn't want to get swept up in all of that stuff. Maybe that's a part of your 9 of Swords, 5 of Swords stuff. You don't want to get swept up or caught up in certain things because maybe in the past you had. Here's you being open versus here's you being closed. It's a toggle, right? Here's the 2 of coins. It's the toggle, the choice. Are you going to be the page or are you going to be the 8? The choice is really yours. I think most of you are going to choose to be the page. Open your eyes and be open to what people have to say. Be open to what life is trying to give you, because I think, or I know that you know that this stuff is not serving you, and your prejudgments of what this kind of stuff is not entirely accurate. That's what I'm really feeling. I know that you know that. Your perceptions of this stuff is not accurate. Your attitude of caution is understandable. And it's showing up down here as well. It's understandable, but it's also not really needed. Now, the other person or the other people that you're kind of associated with, the kings coming through here, let's go like this. Here's the king, right? The kings. First of all, this person's not going anywhere. Even the knight that we got is the stable, the stable presence in your life. They're not going anywhere. Don't worry about it. In a way, they have I'm not going to say more mature. I think I said that before. It's not that they're more mature. It's just that they see what's going on a little bit more clear. That's all. It's just a little bit more clear. So when we look at this, 9 of Wands, and I talked about the grand gesture, it is going to have to come from you. Why do I think that maybe they've crossed the bridge a couple times already? Not sure why I feel that. But whatever it was that came between the two of you, a belief, a choice, something, I don't necessarily know that that's going to be a problem for that much longer. Now, some of you may be dealing with third-party situations, like someone cheated or whatever. If that's the case, I don't see that relationship working out. Of course, your choice to want to be with them is going to be up to you. Maybe you don't want to make the grand gesture, but I think a lot of you look at your king and say, yeah, that's kind of what I want. King, male or female. I want them. And I want to rectify this. And that is going to take the courage. That is going to take the humility. I know I said it's not courage. It's courage. We'll just call it courage. And they'll respect it. And they'll see it. And they'll know what it is. And they'll know where it's coming from. They would prefer that you do that. And I think you would prefer that you did that too. King of Swords is a little bit tough, but the good news is you've got the King of Wands down here, which suggests warmth. So it's not as though this is a harsh opening. They're all upright, so it's it's not going to be prickly. They're not going to be an asshole when you reach out to them, even though I still feel you're real hesitant to reach out. And there may be this feeling of I'm going to wait. You can wait. that's fine. But I think it's just going to gnaw away at you. Neptune retrograde in the 6th, that stomach, right? The digestion is just like, kind of grits your nerves a little bit and makes you feel uneasy. So you might as well clear the air. You might as well just tell them that you've changed your mind about something. Okay, the grand gesture. Is it going to work out perfectly? It's going to be different for each of you. But at least you won't not know. It's these swords, they are so played out, right? Like I'm even tired of looking at them. They're so played out. And that story, whatever it is you're telling yourself, it is so tired. And I think every time you tell yourself that story, you're like, oh man, I hate myself for telling myself that story still. Why am I still here? Why am I still doing this? This is your opportunity to plant new seeds. You had opportunities to plant seeds in April, right? In Aries season, seed planting season. Well, now it comes to the time, first, month of summer, cardinal summertime. And anything that's not working, any crops that just like aren't growing at this point can be extracted and replaced with something else. There's still time for it to grow. So don't be afraid to plant new seeds. Don't be afraid to replace the crop. I don't see her being afraid at all. I see her looking down at her thing and not getting in the way of her own goals. And the thing that I like about this is that their coin-coin connection. The coin-coin connection is obviously whenever you have a king and a queen of the same suit, it's a match. It's a good, high-quality compatibility. You are an air sign. We have an air sign here. This technically is the card of Leo, and you're a Libra. So the Leo-Libra match is also good. So I'm seeing compatibility on from multiple angles here. And I think you know that too. You know that. It's important to note that all this dreamlike fantasy stuff, right? The kind of ultimate life that you're hoping to create for yourself. All this fantasy stuff is contingent upon your ability to break this cycle. It's contingent upon your ability to do this expression, to do this grand gesture, to stop getting in your own way. It's contingent upon that. It's not going to happen unless you do that stuff. And you can toggle back and forth all you want, and you can not accept it all you want, and you can prejudge it all you want. But ultimately, the fact is that you don't know unless you try. That's the fact of the matter. You don't know until you try. And I'm seeing pleasant surprise. So 10 of Wands, 10 of Wands. I think one of the things that you may feel is you're going to lose your power if you do this. In fact, it's the opposite. You lose your power if you don't do this, if you don't reach out, if you don't make amends, if you don't liberate yourself, as we can use the star energy, if you don't liberate yourself from this kind of bogged down like wall versus boundary. It's not a healthy boundary that's here. This is a wall that's here. Okay? This is you, I think, fighting to defend it, fighting to defend your 10 of Wands. But that in and of itself is what's draining your energy. Neptune in the 6th is much a energy drain enough as it is. Am I right? It's an energy drain enough as it is. We don't need to be draining ourselves of even more energy. So to fight to keep this is kind of silly. Because I think a lot of this stuff isn't worth it. Maybe like a couple of those wands is worth it. Maybe one of those wands is worth it. But not all of them. I kind of see you reaching out to this person with an offer. Okay, I think it comes from you to them, because whatever has transpired, they are kind of like looking straight ahead, looking away, looking to the left. Like, I don't know, they're not quite like they're here, but they're not quite looking at you. Okay, and even here, there's kind of like a boundary between you and them. So they're not quite like they're present, but not visible or something. And so you're going to kind of need to get attention. And instead of the Page of Wands approach, which is more like funny or lighthearted, maybe your approach is more of a distraction. Like, hey, King of Coins, King of Swords, King of Wands, hey, I was thinking about what you said. I was thinking about what happened, and I have more to say about it. Let's go grab a drink. Let's go do something. Or maybe you send a gift, right? You send flowers or a bottle of wine with a little card or something. Like, there's an actual physical or tangible component to this. And maybe that's a better approach for you. Maybe you'll feel better with that. Maybe just directly calling and reaching out might be hard for you. If that's what's hard for you, then just try a different modality. They'll listen, right? They're not going anywhere. And here's that opportunity for the words to come out. Here's that opportunity for you to like finally admit that you changed your mind about something, or that you came around on something, or like, yeah, admit that they were right. And maybe they'll admit that you were right in things too. This is not just one way. Sorry, I think up to this point I've been kind of being a little bit harsh with Libra. It's not just you. The only reason why I think it's a lot of you is because of the swords. Because that's your own mind, you know? And this is you breaking free from all that Eight of Swords energy. Even the Page of Swords up here too. It's breaking free from the Eight of Swords energy. So I see success in your mental liberation with everything this month. So I do ultimately see it works out. And as soon as it does, Wheel of Fortune turns over. I had to laugh too at this, the Temperance reversed. This is just your nervousness of bringing that to the table. There's nothing to be nervous about. There's no contention. Be careful of the fantasy that's being created or the dialogue that's been created in your mind, because honestly, I see the conversation going really well. Three of Coins. You know? You think it's going to get you here, but ultimately you go here. By admitting that you're here, or by, this is the humble approach. It is. It's the humble approach. And with the humble approach, it tends to work out. 10 of Coins, 6 of Cups. Can we just focus on that, because that came out twice, right? 10 of Coins, 6 of Cups came out twice. That's the fantasy. That's the reality of the fantasy. It's good connection, peace, joy, fulfilled heart, all the stuff. It's all the stuff. I don't know that we even really need to talk about that, because now I'm just repeating myself over and over. Let's look at this Death card. Here's the page. See, I don't know, like an emotional approach isn't going to be the best. Kind of lighthearted approach isn't going to be the best. It's got to be this kind of approach, like with a gift or an offer of some kind, an offer to go to drinks, or it's got to be something real, because it's going to put you in that position of being face to face. There's really nothing to be afraid of. If this is someone that has hurt you, remember Lovers reversed, if this was someone that has hurt you, betrayed you, then you aren't in the losing position anyway. You're not in the weak position anyway. So it's important that you don't perceive yourself as such. If this is someone that you're trying to let go of and you're trying to get out of your life, even though I'm not quite sure how many of that's going to speak to, but if that's the case, you can just say it. You can simply just say it. You don't need to hold back. Courage to do that, courage to confront in that way. We all know that Libra really doesn't like to confront people. So, I mean, I get it. But, ultimately, it's not about the confrontation. It's just about saying the words. I like this person, though. I feel like they're very well-rounded. I feel like there's a success quality for some of you, or the 10 of coins, king of coins. This might be someone wealthy or someone that you could have or build a lot of wealth with. And I think you're trying to make your mind up about them, but you've already made up your mind about them. So now I'm just at a loss for words. Now I'm just repeating myself, so I'm not going to go on much longer. Whatever it is that needs to get worked out, 3 of coins is the suggestion that it gets worked out. So bring it to the table, right? Bring it to the table. Change your mind and bring it to the table, and then you can see what happens. Then you can make a judgment about everything. Okay? Pretty clear message. It wasn't like, it was like more information, but not that much more in terms of, it just was really on point. So don't be afraid, okay? All right, Libra, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so, so much for everything. I wish you nothing but the best, all right? See you next month. Take care.